Welcome to our daily reflection for this Monday, April 22nd. And today in the Gospel, Jesus had already talked, as we heard yesterday on Sunday, that he is the Good Shepherd. But now he's going to double down on that metaphor, that imagery, and he's going to say that he is also the gate, that the sheep must go in. If the sheep want to go into the sheepfold where they're safe, they have to go through him, that he is the gate for the sheep. And then he says, other people climb in and come in another way, but they're not the true shepherd. So you got to be wary of false shepherds who will lead in false ways. But Jesus is the one who enters, and the gatekeeper opens for him, and the sheep follow him. And of course, then he goes on, he says, and he walks ahead of them, and the sheep follow him. Now, here's something to ponder. Jesus walks ahead of the sheep, and they follow him. And here we see during Eastertide that Jesus has walked ahead of us. He's walked into the place of death and then resurrection, and we will follow him. We too will go through death, but by faith in him and trust in the Father, who is the gatekeeper, we will also go into that place of great heavenly pasture, and we will find resurrection. So just as Jesus went through death and out the other side to life, we too will go through death if we follow Jesus, but also into life. And then Jesus goes on, he says, I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. And he will come in and go out, and they will find pasture, which is an echo to the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, right? And in verdant pastures he leads me. And so Jesus is evoking this great psalm of David because Jesus is the new David. He's the new Messiah. And Jesus is saying more than that, he is the Lord who will lead us to good pastures. And those good pastures are going to be where Jesus leads us in heaven. And so today we reflect on how Jesus is the good shepherd and the gate, and we need to follow him. And by following him, he will lead us to good pasture, even through this valley of tears, the valley of the shadow of death. He will lead us through death and desolation into life, and we have to trust in that. And part of what Eastertide is for us to focus on the great promise of our Christian faith, that Jesus will lead us through death into life, just as he did himself, he will lead us. And so as we focus on resurrection and Jesus as the Good Shepherd, we know that this promise of resurrection should deepen our faith and should really give us hope so that we are encouraged in the face of death, the death that is out there in the world amongst our friends, family, and ultimately awaiting us. But we are not afraid because we have faith in Jesus Christ. May the Lord bless and keep you in this Eastertide faith.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.